Coffee. Some people like it, others tolerate it, but there are many who are coffee addicts. But who's the coffee addict and who's the drinker? We're gonna let you, the audience, decide.
Good evening, viewers. How y'all doing? My name is Richard Armstrong, and I come here to y'all today to give you a brief understanding of my addiction. Let's see.
You know you need a bigger box than that.
Well, you see, I was inspired to do this documentary about coffee and the effects it has on the body and on your health, overall health. Just because of the things that was happening to me and the things that I was looking for online and trying to find out. I wasn't finding out the information that I thought that I should be hearing, like the harmful effects of caffeine, the addiction to it and stuff like that. And I wasn't getting none of this, so, social media and the internet, the information you get on the internet, pretty much one side. It's pretty much tell you the health, the good things about caffeine. It tells you a few things, but you really have to dig deep and find those things. You won't find the one just overly blurting it out and just pretty much putting it out there in front like I'm doing.
To the good and bad effects of caffeine. The good effects are what we've come to expect in terms of that energy boost, that stimulation, that just kind of, get up and go. Those are the immediate effects that we feel. There are some long-term effects associated with drinking caffeine or having caffeine. Supposedly will help with your memory, will help with mood, but those also come at the consequence of how much are you ingesting. So if you're having minor amounts of caffeine, it can have all of these nice positive effects. If you start ingesting too much caffeine, then you can get into heart irregularities, you can get into breathing issues, you can get into essentially almost being poisoned from the caffeine if you have too much. And that has happened in the past when people will start trying to drink, 10 energy drinks to prove that they can, or other, how much coffee or how many Red Bulls or, how much can you do all at one time. And there's been some pretty serious outcomes. So what you're looking at as far as good and bad effects comes down to how much are you taking in and how sensitive are you to what that coffee is going to do to you, and in this case the caffeine is going to do to you that's present in the coffee.
My addiction is coffee.
When did your addiction begin?
5 years ago.
Was you under any type of stress or depression when your addiction began?
No, I wouldn't say that. Just picked up a bad habit, and as you can tell, as you can tell, through my symptoms and stuff, it's been hard to shake.
How often do you drink coffee?
I say anywhere to maybe 4, maybe 6 cups a day.
So, how long have you been a coffee drinker?
Practically all my life.
In the morning.
Yeah, I drink it in the morning. I drink coffee in the morning because my mind, like I say, is a mental state to tell me that, hey, that's how you waking up.
So it clears your mind, or it makes the rest of your day okay?
It makes me shit.
It make you shit.
I got stomach problems, shit.
Oh, so it make you shit.
I have thyroid problems.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying, sometimes.
And it'll wake me up, it'll put me to sleep. Well, the older I got, when I was young, it was just good. But the older I got so addicted until if I didn't have a cup that morning, if I didn't have a cup when I got up, if I went all day without it, I'd have a headache.
Would you have some called the jitters?
I'd be kind of jumpy, kind of a little grouchy.
A little grouchy. So you would consider yourself a coffee addict?
At the time, yeah, I don't drink as much now.
What's in the coffee that actually, you know, is the addiction itself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The caffeine.
Right. I mean,
What's in it? The caffeine to make people get addicted. I wonder.
It's just caffeine. Same way it is with soda. Caffeine. It prep them up.
Caffeine is the molecule that's present in the coffee beans, and it is the stimulant. It's the agent that prevents you from feeling tired. It's the agent that prevents you from getting mood swings. It interferes with all these processes or inhibits these processes and keeps you up. Basically, it does that by working in your metabolism and preventing the shutdown of your body. So when your sugar stores get low and you start kind of winding down and you're feeling tired, then caffeine actually prevents the process from shutting down. So it keeps the process going. So your body normally wants to shut down. Caffeine says, no, you can't shut down. We're going to keep you on the upward trend. So by interfering with those processes, it also helps stimulate, excite, and prevent mood swings. So caffeine is responsible for all those things because it looks like another molecule in your body.
Coffee! Can't help it, man. Gotta have some.
How much? I mean, how many cups is this for you today?
Number 2. Got one in the morning, one now.
At least you're slowing down.
Trying. Good coffee.
How much money do you spend on coffee on a weekly basis?
That's a good one. I don't spend too much money on it because I maybe about $15 a week.
When you drink your coffee, how does it make you feel?
Well, it relaxes me. It puts me in an energetic mood and don't keep me up like most people think coffee keeps you up late at night or whatever. I can drink coffee right before I go to bed and sleep just fine.
Yeah, I may not want to the next morning. I might drink a cup tonight. Sometimes I drink to put me to sleep. It's the opposite to me it is to people. Other people say it'll keep them up, but I drink a cup to put me to sleep.
Put you to sleep. And have you?
Yeah. Good and strong. So.
it gives me that first rush of caffeine in the morning.
Okay.
It's like the taste, let me know, hey, it's morning. That's the taste with the memory, the cerebellum.
Yeah.
So like I say, it's a mental thing with me with coffee. But the side effects to me, if I don't drink coffee, I'm gonna get a headache because of the amount of caffeine. Like I drink like no more than 2 cups of coffee a day.
Hit it in the morning.
That's your high when you hit it in the morning?
When you hit it, the first thing in the morning is your high. The rest of it don't matter.
I guess my body's grown kind of like a tolerance to it, so it probably take maybe 6-7 cups to actually get me to that, give me a little buzz. So.
Can you describe the buzz?
Well, like I said, it just give me a little boost of energy, maybe for about 2 or 3 hours, and after that, it kind of settles out. But pretty much, I be energized most of the day.
And have you tried to stop for a couple of days?
I have stopped for a month.
You didn't get no side effects like bad
I
headaches?
just went cold turkey for a month.
Did you get any bad headaches or anything?
No, but I saw that I was, no, not really. I got, I just tried to drink, stuff. See, like when you put down one habit, you pick up another habit. So my other habit was I picked up another drink, like ginger ale, I eat it. When you put down one addiction, you're gonna pick up another one, whether it's candy or what, you're gonna pick up another one.
Have you tried to stop?
Yeah, a few times. Actually, I'm trying to stop now, so.
What make you start back?
Well, I don't like the powerful headaches that it give me, which I know come with withdrawal symptoms or whatever. But it's just something I'm gonna have to deal with.
How many times have you tried to stop?
In the past, I say, I don't know, at least about 4 or maybe 5 times, 4 or 5 times.
It turns, in a business sense, it turns to a supply and demand.
Yeah.
If there's a high demand for coffee, then you must get the supply in, and then you have people who's they're not in competition, but these are still businesses that is trying to get their get it out there and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But you have like different hotels, and everybody want coffee because the smell, the caffeine that's in it, it's the addiction. You know what I'm saying? That actually make a person's day go. It's like jet fuel to some people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't believe coffee is bad for you. You know what I mean? Anything that grows from the ground.
And you mentioned something about it cools you off when you drank it.
Absolutely. And when people say that coffee hot, and if they drink a cup of coffee, they'll see that it changes the temperature and they'll get cooler. But it's if you drink something cold, you get cool right away and it goes right back to hot. But you still cool a little bit. It's like a thermos. It's cut down. But it used to cool me off in the summertime when I drink a cup of coffee. It's okay.
So you don't consider yourself a coffee addict. You consider yourself a coffee drinker.
I consider myself neither one.
You don't consider yourself neither one. You gotta be a coffee drinker to drink 1 cup a day.
Coffee drinkers are somebody that sit there and drink. I have to have a cup like I used to be.
No, you was an addict back then.
Just a coffee drinker drink like that, and I had drink like that. So really, I was an addict. I was both.
You was an addict, a coffee addict, but now you just a coffee drinker because you drink once a day.
I don't think I'm a coffee drinker because sometimes I miss it. Sometimes I have a soda in my hand.
But you're still a coffee drinker, because you still drink it.
Because I like the way it tastes.
At least about 4 or maybe 5 times, 4 or 5 times.
What triggered you to start back again? Every time?
Well, I have a feeling that maybe it's the reason that I'm having kind of, I'll say kind of like unbalanced blood pressure problems or whatever. That's the only thing I can feel like, because I really don't eat a lot of food that should give me blood pressure issues. The only thing I can probably point out to that is probably the coffee that's doing it, because I drink a lot of that, like I say.
I have it, like, I'm good. Like, I would drink it, but shit, if I ain't got no coffee, I ain't going crazy. Like, some people flip out.
So would you consider yourself a coffee addict?
Yes.
Yes, you're a coffee addict.
I know I am. I can't speak for nobody else. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Do you remember anything happening when your habit began? like any type of maybe stress or drama you went through at the time? Did you lose
Well, I
somebody?
was working at a prison when I first started, so I guess that was a high stressful job. So maybe that. So you could say a little stress, but
Did you lose a loved one?
no, that one had nothing to do with that. It had to be in the prison because that's where I started that bad habit at working at.
In 2009, Richard lost his granddad. Then in 2012, he lost his other granddad. And he was pretty close to both of them. And I don't think he ever had a chance to get closure. If I was a betting person, I would say that could be attached to the coffee habit.
Be in a lot of pain about it.
So if you didn't drink, you'd be in a lot of pain.
Yeah, I probably would.
Okay. So how often do you drink it? Like, how many cups?
Daily, and I drink roughly anywhere from 4 to 7 cups a day. And I'm not talking about the little coffee cups. I'm talking about cups.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it must do something for you, like give you some type of buzz or make you energetic.
I enjoy the taste, one, and like I say, I have issues with my stomach, so a lot of time when my stomach would be cramping, I drink coffee and it eases the cramps.
Oh, okay.
And that's around the time I left too, around what, 5 years ago? 5, 6 years.
When did you realize that this coffee habit has spiraled out of control?
Well, the first time I tried that, I stopped a couple of days, went a couple of days. I ain't said stop, I just went a couple of days without a cup of coffee. And I just started developing this real powerful headache, and it wouldn't go away. It took migraines and Excedrin migraines, it took Tylenols, extra strength. You name some of the headache medicine I was taking, and nothing wasn't helping. It was maybe subsiding just a tad, but it was just a powerful headache. And I said, something just told me to get a shot of coffee and see how you feel. And I remember driving up to the store and getting a cup of coffee. I say about 30 minutes later, my headache started going away just a little bit. And eventually it was gone. Coffee. And I did that more than one time, so like I said, about 5 times I know how to try to quit, and every time coffee, I get those headaches and coffee make it go away. It's the caffeine, so maybe I should have tried caffeine pills and maybe see what that would do, but I know it's the caffeine, so somebody can argue with me and say it ain't, but I know.
Have you ever tried like going to a professional, a counselor or a
That's a
psychiatrist?
professional. Well, a doctor, and they pretty much said the same thing when I told them what symptoms and stuff.
That's the withdrawal of the caffeine that's taking place within the kind of coffee that you're taking in. If you're not taking in a non-GMO, all organic, non-caffeinated coffee, then that will not, especially without any artificial sugars, then you would not have that reaction when you go 2 or 3 days without coffee. I too used to use it when I was working in the health and medical field years ago when I started to, and I too received slight headaches and migraines because I was using that to be able to get through my double shifts.
One of the things that we have to kind of define when we talk about the discoverer of caffeine is whether we're talking about when someone first realized that those beans or that plant would give them some stimulation versus the actual molecule. It's reported that a goat herder I believe it was the Ethiopian area, was noticing that his goats were getting a little too excited and restless and, were bouncing around all night after they would eat in this one area. And he discovered this plant producing these beans. And then he started experimenting with them and found out they would also cause a stimulating effect for him. He shared that with other people, and that's the origin of the coffee bean in terms of being used as a stimulant. It's also reported just about the same time in the United States, in the Southwest and into Central and South America, that natives were using a caffeine-containing compound, a caffeine-containing plant, which is cacao, and there was another plant as well. But they were using these as stimulants to make teas. So they were making coffee, but they had discovered caffeine in a different plant in the Americas during that same time. Now, the actual isolator or discoverer of the single molecule was Friedlieb Ferdinand Runge, and that was about 1819 or 1820, and that's almost 1,000 years after the discoveries in Africa and in the Americas. So what he did was actually isolate the molecule that was responsible for the stimulation, the excitement, and that all centered around the molecule that we now know as caffeine. So caffeine is the single molecule that's responsible for those effects.
Hey, doing something that a lot of folks probably don't do is do quite as bad as I was doing, which I was mixing it with a lot of cream, with sugar, just basic dairy products, you know, which is bad, just bad all the way around. I used to go through those, I think it was out of 20-ounce French vanilla cream. I go through one of those in about 2 days. You know, so that's a lot. In my eyes, well, maybe that's...
Give me cream and sugar.
That's how you like your coffee?
Coffee.
Cream and sugar.
And real coffee.
You don't like no latte?
A latte might, but give me cream and sugar. They ain't got to have all of that. That's just some shit that you came over with. A real coffee drinker, I ain't drinking this plain. No sugar, no cream. But you can, being a coffee drinker, I have been a coffee drinker all my life. And they don't take all of that. French vanilla, Irish cucumber, and all that mess. Cream and sugar.
Like, if you don't go, if you don't eat and stuff, and drinking too much coffee, you had the jitters, you need to hydrate. A lot of people don't hydrate because they too busy drinking coffee or whatever other things, but you need to also hydrate with coffee.
And that'll keep you from being sick on the stomach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes water don't help because I did it. Sometimes it just, you be noisy behind it because that coffee is a caffeine and it needs to eat on something. Just like sugar, it needs to eat on something. One thing, people, that you need to learn about coffee. So, I used to be the type that would drink coffee all day long and don't eat nothing. But coffee makes you very noisy if you drink it without eating.
Are you really ready to quit?
Yeah, of course I am. I ain't really got no choice at this point because I see right now that it's a chemical problem.
Do you see yourself quitting anytime soon?
No.
So you in it for life?
I don't plan on stopping because, I don't have any bad side effects from it other than the jitters, like I said, sometimes when I don't eat. So, no, I don't plan on stopping. And I think it's much better for my body than alcohol.
Just because they love it and they feel like, well, it's not, I drink it all the time and it ain't doing nothing to me. Well, maybe it hasn't doing nothing to you yet. Certain people have a certain tolerance level. Their body gonna take so much. And like I said, as time went on and I started, I'm a very active guy for working out and stuff. And maybe some of those people haven't discovered what's going on with them because they're not as active as what I have been. So different stroke for different folks, as they say. But the thing is, you're going to have to find out for yourself the effects that caffeine has on your body.
And can cause heart attacks and things of that nature. And that's why you see I'm here, even with it, they don't recommend no more than a cup a day. And that cup a day wasn't supposed to be no more than 4 to 6 ounces of coffee. However, when you are a coffee addict and you're using the coffee with caffeine, there is no way of practicing that in moderation, especially if you're using it to stay awake.
That's just putting too much caffeine in them. They're having a damn sugar rush. And if you're
He
doing
would go
this
through a
every-
box a day.
Yeah, if you're doing this every day, you're constantly telling your brain and you're feeding your body with different caffeine.
Yeah.
It's like having a sugar rush or something.
So too much, but basically what you're trying to say.
Caffeine is bad for
Too
you.
Noisy, like a pregnant woman, like you want to throw up, just throw up.
Me personally, it was affecting, my heart rate. It was affecting my blood pressure. It was affecting my mood a lot, and certain times it was affecting, maybe sometimes my stomach. I'll even get nauseated sometimes, and I'll drink it, thinking maybe, maybe it'll go away, but no, it just got worse as time went on. And then when I tried to quit, was having all those withdrawal effects. And, first the headaches, extremely powerful migraines, and I don't know, just always in a bad, negative mood. I say like the first week that I was doing without coffee, I was always in a pretty much bad mood, and energy level wasn't quite what it was normally at, because I was drinking so much coffee and my energy was always through the roof. But after a while, my energy level just mellowed out, and now I'm pretty much focusing on just raw, natural energy instead of what I was getting from the caffeine, that extra boost, whatever.
Looking at what happens to you if you don't get your coffee. That is, if you have become dependent and you're not getting the same amount of caffeine that you do every day, you can start having withdrawal effects. The withdrawal that will happen associated with that typically is a headache. The reason that occurs as kind of your first symptom is that caffeine is a vasoconstrictor. So it shrinks the blood vessels in your skin, in your brain, everywhere. It kind of causes them to narrow. So when you start coming off of caffeine or start having withdrawals from it, essentially the reason you get a headache is because the blood flow returns to your brain. And you start getting that pounding, throbbing headache because your body hasn't been used to having that much blood circulating your brain. So it's been constricted, and you keep that effect going by drinking more and more caffeine or ingesting more and more caffeine. What can happen to you though is kind of depends on your sensitivity level. A lot of people can drink, caffeine and then, don't really get the stimulant effect because they're not as sensitive to it as other people. Some people that are hypersensitive to caffeine can get really scared, really excited, really overstimulated, and that can cause different issues as that happens with them. So basically, if you don't get caffeine, there's not going to be anything that happens to you physically in terms of making you sick to the point that you're going to die or there's going to be some really adverse reaction to it. It's just a matter of reacclimating your body to the absence of caffeine and gauging your sensitivity. Like I said, a lot of people can have caffeine all they want. Other people can't hardly have any without it having some really serious effects, overstimulation. So you just have to judge how much you've ingested, how much you normally take in, and then be ready to do something about getting that out of your system.
Going on about 5 weeks since I stopped drinking coffee.
Have you been experiencing any side effects, any changes?
Well, the first thing I started having was, like I said in the past, I started having a little slight headaches. And it lasted for a couple of days, maybe about 2 or 3 days. And let's say, I started feeling nauseated, like I was feeling sick on the stomach, like I wanted to vomit, stuff like that, and just weird little symptoms like that. Mostly like symptoms like I said, nauseated. Other than that, everything was pretty fine. My energy level decreased a little bit from all the excess, caffeine that I was intaking. Of course, that was a boost to my energy. But so my energy level went down. But now, now that I don't have caffeine in me, it's pretty much just raw energy flowing through my body right now. From whatever I'm eating and whatever stuff like that, from the exercises I do. The rapid heart rate is kind of gone. It took a while for that to kind of subside, but it's gone. I pretty much knew that was the caffeine that was doing that to me. but I feel great.
Do you ever get the urge to want to drink it again?
Yeah, and I started drinking cappuccino, which is I substituted caffeine for sugar, but I try my best to maybe drink one, maybe once every 3 or 4 days. So I still have that. I don't have the urge for the caffeine. It's more like the urge to have something warm, some type of warm beverage in my mouth.
Yeah, it'll make you feel like you're drinking coffee, but you're not really drinking coffee.
Yeah. But it ain't nowhere near as as addictive as what I think caffeine was to me. And they don't give me nowhere near the energy. So it don't really do nothing for me besides just pleasure. More like a pleasure. Something just pleasing into your mouth.
Do you think you would ever go back to drinking it?
I doubt it. I'm pretty sure no. Hell no. Nope. Caffeine is a drug. And it's one I don't ever want to use again. My name is Richard Armstrong. And I keep the habit.
When he first told me he was going to try this again, I was kind of afraid for him because I'm afraid he's going to relapse again. I asked him, did he think this was a good idea? And he told me, he assured me that he's not going to. I hope he's right. Now, what does this have in it?
Let's see, this is a latte, and I'm pretty sure you got caffeine in it. Coconut. No, almond milk.
Aren't you afraid? Are you afraid you're gonna get back addicted again?
Wow, that's strong.
Are you afraid that you're gonna become an addict again?
No, not really. But it is strong. See, back then when I was drinking and stuff, every day, that wouldn't have been strong at all. But this is strong as hell. This is very strong.
Do you think you're gonna relapse?
Nope. Hell of a boost of energy. If I know that. Because it's been so long since I had something like that. Almost 3 months now.
3 months.
Yeah. 3 whole months. Yeah, so you heard when I told her don't put regular milk in it because I just can't drink regular milk. But if I get a lot of gas, that means she put regular milk and stuff.
There's really nothing wrong with coffee. It's not what you drink, it's how much you drink. You can live just a cup of coffee, that can be that's it. Drink you one in the morning and that's it. Some people will drink something breakfast, dinner, supper, or they go to bed when they get up. That used to be me. I don't do it no more.
Well, congratulations, Mom. I'm proud of you.
It just don't bother me no more to drink it.
So now you just drink like 1 cup a day?
Yeah. If I miss that morning, I might get one later on. But most likely I'll be wasting it. I drink and sip a little bit, and then next thing you know, I'll be pouring it out.
I would have been done with this before I walked out of there.
Do you feel a rush?
Oh, it's gonna be a while before I feel that. Most of them gonna be from the sugar. She got caffeine in it too, but it's been, like I said, it's been so long since I had caffeine. I'm scared I'm gonna get kind of like jitters.
I hope not. I told you this might have not been a good idea.
Well,
You probably should have got cappuccino.
one time won't hurt, will it?
For a recovering coffee addict, all it takes is one time.
No. You hear that? She don't think so. What about you, Bob? You don't think so neither. Oh, it had to be you, huh? Did it, Terry? You always looking at, always going against everything we say. Forget you. We'll hit you, but I'm pretty sure I'll break my hand. Like I said, I did this documentary just to show and tell people, you know, get other people's opinion on it. Where's first man? Because I'm just one man. But there's a lot of folks out there who's drinking coffee and don't actually know what it's actually doing to them. And you know, be like me, you won't know until it's too late. Till you find out, hey, this is affecting with my heart rhythm, this is affecting with my blood pressure, and something like that. And you can reverse it, of course, like I did. Just get off of it. It ain't easy. It ain't simple, but it ain't hard neither.